Davy whoops with delight, tossing the tambourine in the air and catching it behind his back. "That's my girl!" Mike's face when Heartbreak Hotel starts instead of I Wanna Be Free. Priceless. He grabs her hand, spinning her in a quick, giddy circle before freezing mid-step. "Should you hear that?" His eyes widen with faux panic as footsteps approach outside the door. He presses a finger to her lips, whispering, "Quick! Hide the evidence or we're both walking home in our socks after he nicks our shoes again." In one fluid motion, he crumples the incriminating set list into his pocket and shoves a spare tambourine into her hands just as the doorknob turns. Stage whispers, "Act natural," then immediately begins humming Jailhouse Rock loudly off-key. Donna barely has time to react before the door swings open. Mike stands there, arms crossed, one eyebrow arched skeptically. "Why do I hear Elvis? And why do you both look extremely guilty?" Davy instantly snaps into an innocent grin. Too wide, too fast. "Elvis? Must be the radio bleeding through from next door. And guilty? Us? Nah." He nudges Donna with his elbow. "We were just practicing tambourine techniques." Mike squints between them and the suspiciously crumpled paper peeking out of Davy's pocket. "Right." He steps closer like a detective, closing in on a suspect, until BAM! Davy suddenly shakes the tambourine right in his face to distract him. Donna seizes her chance, darting behind Mike to swap the real set list on the table with their sabotaged version. Mission complete. She shoots Davy a covert thumbs up, just as Mike turns back around suspiciously. "You two are up to something," he declares. Davy clutches his chest in mock horror. "Your lack of trust wounds me," then whispers sideways too. Mike sighs, pinching the bridge of his nose in defeat. "Fine. Let's get to the point. What did you two do?" Donna feigns surprise, holding up her hands defensively. "Do? Us? We're the epitome of innocence." She glances slyly at Davy, trying not to crack a smile. "Right." Mike doesn't look convinced. He turns his sharp gaze to Davy. "Show me your pockets." Davy swallows hard, slowly patting his pockets. "No clue what you're talking about, mate." His eyes dart between Mike and Donna, silently pleading for help. Donna intervenes with a charming smile, sidling up to Mike's side and looping an arm through his elbow. "Mike, don't be such a spoil-sport. We were having a bit of fun." Mike softens slightly, glancing down at her with a hint of a smile. "Fun? You two together are a tornado waiting to happen." Davy seizes the opportunity to lean in with a conspiratorial whisper. "Would you believe we were just discussing how brilliant your guitar solo sounded at soundcheck?" while discreetly nudging the crumpled set list further into his pocket with his elbow. Mike narrows his eyes but can't hide the faint smirk tugging at his lips. "Flattery won't work on me, Jones." He reaches for Davy's collar in mock menace, just as Donna accidentally knocks over a nearby music stand with a clatter. In the chaos, Davy tosses her the tambourine like a relay baton and bolts for the door, shouting over his shoulder, "Last one to the stage buys chips after." And Mike, try not to cry when they request Hound Dog instead of Pleasant Valley Sunday. Donna is already sprinting after him, laughter trailing behind them both as Mike groans into his hands. As the backstage door slams shut, Mike is left alone in the empty room, rubbing his temples in defeat. "Damn it," he mutters, eyeing the new set list with dread. "Guess I'll have to brush up on my Elvis impressions." The sound of laughter fades down the hall, and Mike shakes his head in weary amusement. "Those two will be the death of me." He glances out at the crowded auditorium, and they wouldn't have it any other way. A beat, then a wry smile breaks out across his face. "Well, if nothing else, at least this concert'll be interesting." Outside, Davy and Donna burst through the stage door, gasping with breathless laughter. "Can you believe he fell for it?" Davy manages, tears of mirth in his eyes. Donna is bent at the waist, laughter still shaking her shoulders. "I can't believe you nearly got caught with the set list. You're such a terrible liar." Davy clutches his chest dramatically, stumbling back a step like she's wounded him. "Me? A terrible liar?" "Love, I had him right where I wanted him," distracted by a dazzling smile. He catches her wrist and spins her under his arm, that tambourine still miraculously in his other hand. The stage lights flicker on, cueing their entrance, but he pauses just before the curtain, grin turning devious. "Tell you what, if Mike actually goes through with Blue Swede's shoes, I'll nick Peter's keyboard mid-set and play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star as an encore." His eyebrows wiggle. "Deal?" Somewhere behind them, a roadie yells about missing sheet music as chaos unfolds exactly as planned. "A deal's a deal," Donna agrees, trying and failing to sound stern as the stage lights blind them. "But I'm holding you to that promise." And with a grin, they stride confidently through the stage door, laughter still lingering between them like an electric current. There's a thrill in the air tonight. The show has only just begun. The stage lights blind them for a moment, only to reveal a sea of thousands. The roar of the crowd is deafening, bodies packed like a tightly coiled spring in anticipation. In that moment, it's hard to believe this is just another concert. The atmosphere is charged, electric, like the whole world is holding its breath, waiting to see the magic the monkeys bring to life under the spotlight. Davy turns to Donna with a wild grin just as the opening chords blast through the speakers. "Right then, let's make this unforgettable." He grabs her hand, pulling her into the spotlight with him as the crowd erupts. The energy is infectious, and before she can protest, he's singing directly to her, Mike tilted just enough so only she catches his whisper. "Bet you £5 Mike actually nails Hound Dog. Loser has to nick Mickey's drumsticks mid-song." Then he winks and spins away, tambourine flashing under the lights as pure chaos and music explodes across the stage. The crowd's screams swell as Davy leaps onto the monitors, kicking off Last Train to Clarksville with a rebel yell. His hips swivel in time to the beat, tambourine flashing like a lightning strike under the lights. But his eyes keep darting back to Donna, mischief sparking between them. A roadie suddenly sprints on stage, shoving a hastily scrawled note into his palm. Davy unfolds it mid-note. "Mike knows. Abort Elvis plan." He crumples it with a grin and sings louder, tossing the paper into the audience. "Change of plans, love," he shouts over the music, pulling her toward Mike's mic stand with a conspiratorial wink. "Now we really make Hound Dog happen." The crowd goes wild as Davy grabs Donna by the waist and lifts her onto the stage, a burst of adrenaline coursing through her as the spotlight finds them both. The band falls in line on cue, instruments blending like a well-oiled machine. But her eyes remain locked on Davy, breathless from more than just her solo debut. In this moment, it's not about the cameras or the spotlight, but the thrill of the music and the fire in his eyes. Donna meets his gaze with a grin, fingers gripping his like a lifeline. "You're on." Davy's answering laugh is pure mischief as he spins her under his arm, just in time for Mike to launch into an unplanned guitar riff that's suspiciously close to Hound Dog. The audience erupts. Peter nearly misses a keyboard note in shock, and Mickey, bless him, improvises a drum roll like they rehearsed this. Davy leans into Donna's ear, voice rich with triumph. "Told you he'd cave. Now run before security realizes Elvis never booked this gig." Hand in hand, they bolt toward the wings as Mike glowers after them, but not without a grudging smirk. Behind them, the crowd chants for an encore, none the wiser that rock and roll history was just hijacked by two schemers and a tambourine. Curtain call, chaos. "And I'm the save." Donna and Davy barely slide into the wings before the curtains fall, still breathless and laughing, fingers still linked together. The crew is already dismantling the stage, and somewhere out there Mike is likely fuming. But in this moment it all seems wildly far away. "That went better than expected," Davy pants, grinning down at her. "Especially the part where you hit that high note in Clarksville. You sure you're not secretly a star, sweetheart?" Donna shoves his shoulder playfully, still catching her breath. "Oh, shut it. You're just trying to butter me up so I help with the next scheme. Which, for the record," she leans in, stage lights glinting in her eyes, "is already frighteningly tempting." A sudden yell cuts through the backstage buzz. "Jones!" Mike storms toward them, wielding a guitar pick like a warrant. Davy's grin doesn't falter. He just sweeps into a theatrical bow and presents Donna like a co-conspirator prize. "Your Honor, the defense pleads artistic liberty." Mike's scowl deepens. "Very funny, Jones. But you and I need to have a little chat about the term set list." Because when I specifically told you no Elvis, I didn't mean surprise the audience into thinking we're the goddamn king in disguise. How did you even get me to agree to? Donna quickly intervenes with a laugh. Oh, it's all right, Mike. The crowd loved it. Mike pauses, still scowling. He dashed some